The Las Vegas arena was full of people. Lights flashed, music boomed, and the crowd of 20,000 fans cheered loudly. Their voices bounced off the walls and the ceiling. It was the biggest night for the Western Wrestling League. Tonight was the championship match. The whole place buzzed with excitement, like a big party full of loud voices, bright lights, and strong wrestlers. You could smell the sweat in the air. You could feel the energy all around, like a big bolt of electricity. People screamed, clapped, and jumped with joy. It felt like something amazing was going to happen. In a special area called the VIP section, a man named Jason Statham sat quietly. He was a famous actor. The people who made the wrestling show invited him to watch. They thought his Hollywood star power would make the event even more exciting. Jason was 57 years old. He had been in many movies where he fought bad guys and saved the day. But tonight, he wasn't here as an action hero. He wasn't pretending. He was just a man in a black leather jacket, watching the show with his bright blue eyes. Jason looked calm and quiet, but people near him whispered and pointed. They were excited to see someone so famous. Some even tried to take sneaky pictures with their phones. Everyone wanted to say, "Look, I saw Jason Statham tonight." Inside the ring, the main wrestling match had just finished. A huge wrestler named Dax Maddox had won. People called him Ironclad. He was very big, 6'4" tall, with a bald head and a strong body. His smile was sharp, like it could cut glass. Dax had just beaten another tough wrestler named Leo, the Mauler Cruz. The match lasted 15 whole minutes. It was loud, fast, and very rough. The crowd loved it. Now Dax stood in the middle of the ring. The referee lifted Dax's hand high to show he was the winner. A shiny golden championship belt was placed over Dax's shoulder. Dax was only 28 years old, but everyone knew he was the best in the league. He didn't just win matches, he crushed his opponents. He laughed, he showed off, and the crowd either loved or hated him. Dax picked up a microphone. His voice echoed through the arena like thunder. "Another one bites the dust," he shouted. He walked around the ring like a lion, proud and strong. Then he looked up toward the VIP section. His eyes stopped when he saw Jason Statham. The big screen, called the Jumbotron, showed Jason's face for everyone to see. Jason didn't move. He just watched quietly. Dax grinned wide. He pointed at Jason. "Well, look who we've got here," Dax said in a teasing voice. "Jason Statham, the big movie tough guy." The crowd laughed. Some people cheered. Others began to shout, "Jason! Jason!" Dax kept talking. "What's the matter, Statham?" he said, still smiling like a fox. "Are you here to take notes on how real fighters do it?" People gasped. Dax was making fun of Jason. "Stick to your fake punches and your little stunts, mate," Dax said. "This ring's for the real deal." He dropped the microphone with a loud thud and flexed his muscles. The cameras flashed. The whole arena was filled with noise, cheers, boos, and lots of excitement. On the internet, people started talking about it right away. They posted short video clips of Dax teasing Jason. Everyone was sharing it. The hashtag Dax vs. Statham was already trending online. Still, Jason didn't move. His hands rested on his knees. But his old friend, Ben, who sat beside him, noticed something. Jason's jaw had tightened. Just a little. "Kid's got a big mouth," Ben said quietly, shaking his head. Jason didn't answer, but he smiled. It was a small smile, and it looked a little dangerous. He wasn't just a movie star anymore. Something inside him had woken up. Jason thought about his past. He had grown up on the tough streets of London. He had worked hard to become a top swimmer in Britain. He had trained for years in kickboxing, karate, and jiu-jitsu, not for movies, but for real life. Dax's words weren't just silly jokes. They lit a fire inside Jason that he hadn't felt in a long time. Backstage, the wrestling promoters were talking fast. They had only invited Jason to get more fans to watch. But now they saw something bigger happening. One of them, a nervous man named Marcus with a headset and a clipboard, walked over to Jason during a break. "Mate," Marcus said, "the crowd's eating this up. One match. You versus Dax. Just an exhibition. No real stakes. Just for fun." Ben opened his mouth to say no. He was worried. But Jason raised his hand to stop him. His eyes were still on the ring. He thought of his younger self, the boy who never backed down. He thought of his daughter, Ivy, who was watching at home. He wanted to show her something important. Never let someone's words tell you who you are. You decide who you are. "Make it quick," Jason said. His voice was low but strong. "I'm not here to play games." A few minutes later, the Jumbotron flashed with a big message in red letters. Special exhibition match. Jason Statham versus Dax, Ironclad Maddox. The crowd went wild. People jumped out of their seats. Some cheered for Jason, the movie star. Others yelled for Dax, the champion. Everyone was excited. Dax looked surprised at first, but then he grabbed the microphone again. "Oh, you're on, Statham," he yelled. "I'm going to make you wish you stayed in your fancy trailer." The crowd screamed. The noise was so loud it shook the arena. Jason was already walking backstage. He took off his leather jacket. Underneath, he wore a black tank top. His muscles showed the years of training and hard work. He was strong, lean, and ready. The big match would be the last one of the night. In a small locker room, Jason got ready. Ben stood nearby, still worried. "He's 30 years younger than you," Ben said, "and built like a tank. Jason, are you sure about this?" Jason looked into the mirror. He remembered all the times people had told him he couldn't do something. He remembered proving them wrong. He nodded slowly. "I'm sure." Outside, the crowd chanted both names. "Let's go, Dax!" and "Jason! Jason!" The whole place was shaking with excitement. The announcer's voice rang out. "Ladies and gentlemen, for our final event of the night, we bring you a special exhibition match. In this corner, the reigning champion, the powerhouse, the crowd slayer, Dax Ironclad Maddox." Dax walked into the ring with flashing lights and loud music. He flexed his muscles and yelled to the crowd. In the other corner, a special guest, the star of action films and a fighter in his own right, Jason Statham. Jason walked out. No music, no lights, just him and the crowd. The bell rang. Ding! The match began. Dax rushed forward like a bull. He tried to grab Jason, but Jason moved quickly, dodging and sliding. The crowd gasped. Jason wasn't just fast, he was smart. He watched Dax's moves carefully. When Dax swung a big punch, Jason ducked and landed a quick jab to Dax's side. The crowd cheered. Dax growled and charged again. He lifted Jason and slammed him to the mat. "Oh!" the crowd shouted. But Jason didn't stay down. He rolled and jumped back to his feet. He kicked low, swept Dax's leg, and made him fall with a thud. People screamed with excitement. This wasn't a fake movie fight. It was real skill versus raw power. The match lasted 10 minutes. Jason and Dax went back and forth, grappling, dodging, striking, and sweating. It wasn't just a show. It was a battle of heart. At the end, both men were breathing hard. Jason stepped back and looked at Dax. Dax looked back. They nodded at each other. The crowd stood and clapped. Some whistled. Others cheered. Everyone knew they had seen something special. The referee raised both men's hands. "No winner," the announcer said. "Just respect." Dax stepped forward and took the microphone. "You've got guts, old man," he said, smiling now. "I thought you were just a movie guy. But you've got the real stuff." Jason smiled back. "Thanks, mate. You're not bad yourself." Backstage, Ben handed Jason a water bottle. "You okay?" Jason nodded. "Better than okay." Later that night, as he sat in a quiet room, Jason got a video message from his daughter Ivy. "You were awesome, Dad," she said. "You showed him." Jason smiled. It wasn't about winning. It was about showing what he was made of. And deep down, he knew this was just the beginning of something new. Jason tied his boots tightly. He moved slowly and carefully. Every step he took showed that he was getting ready. Jason was strong, but he wasn't perfect. He sometimes made mistakes. He also talked too much. That was his big weakness. Ben, his friend, watched him. Ben didn't say anything. He knew better than to argue. Ben had seen Jason practice before. He knew that when Jason started fighting, he became someone else. Not just an actor anymore, but a real fighter. When the bell rang, the crowd in the arena got very loud. People shouted and cheered. It was time for the big fight. Dax, the champion, rushed at Jason like a wild bull. He was full of power and pride. He thought he could win by using his strength. He threw a big punch with his right hand. But Jason moved quickly, like water flowing in a stream. He stepped to the side. He used to be a diver, so he was very fast and smooth. The crowd gasped. Dax's punch hit nothing but air. Jason didn't wait. He kicked the back of Dax's knee with great aim. Dax was so big and strong, but that kick made him stumble. "Come on, movie star!" Dax shouted. His face was red. He was embarrassed and angry. He ran at Jason again, trying to grab him and throw him down. But Jason was ready. He turned and used Dax's own speed to make him crash into the ropes. The fans jumped up from their seats. They were amazed. They couldn't believe how well Jason was fighting. People had thought Jason was just an actor. But now they saw he had real fighting skills. The fight was not just about punching. It was like a game of chess, with every move needing thought. Dax was super strong. His punches were hard. His grapples tried to squeeze and crush. But he made mistakes. He wanted the crowd to cheer for him, so he showed off too much. Jason was very different. He didn't play to the crowd. He stayed calm. He thought before each move. He didn't waste energy. He moved only when he had to. And when he did, it was perfect. Dax tried to grab Jason's neck in a choke hold. But Jason dropped low to the floor. He spun around and caught Dax's arm in a smart hold from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Dax made a loud noise. He was in pain. His face showed it. But he used all his power to break free. He was angry. He started swinging harder and wilder. But Jason didn't get scared. He stayed calm. His face showed no fear. His body moved like it had been trained for years. For Jason, this fight wasn't just about winning. Each time he dodged a punch, each time he hit back, he remembered things from his past. He remembered the kids who laughed at him in school. He remembered the coaches who said he would never be good at sports. He remembered the movie bosses who said he wasn't famous enough. Now he was showing them all they were wrong. Dax made fun of him too, just like others had. But Jason had heard it all before. It didn't scare him. As Jason ducked under another wild punch, he thought of Ivy, his daughter, watching on her phone back in London. He wanted to teach her something. He wanted her to see that being strong doesn't mean being big or loud. Being strong means staying true to yourself. It means not giving up. Jason didn't need to beat Dax to feel strong. He just needed to show that he hadn't changed. He was still himself. Dax was losing control. His taunts turned into bad words. His moves got messy. He had thought Jason would be easy to beat because he was a movie star. But he was wrong. In a last try to win, Dax charged forward, trying to slam Jason to the ground with his body. But Jason saw it coming. He dropped to one knee. He swept Dax's legs out from under him. Before Dax could get up, Jason grabbed him in a jiu-jitsu choke hold. The whole arena went silent. Then the noise came back louder than ever. Dax was struggling. His face turned purple. His hand hovered over the mat. And then he tapped out. That little tap told everyone he gave up. The sound was loud in the silence, like a knife cutting through the air. The referee grabbed Jason's hand and lifted it up. Jason had won. The crowd went wild. They chanted Jason's name again and again. The whole place shook with their voices. Dax was still on the mat, breathing hard. He looked up at Jason, not angry anymore, just shocked. His pride was gone. Jason didn't shout or jump or brag. He got down on one knee next to Dax. He held out his hand and said, "Good fight," in a calm voice. Dax waited a second. His pride and his heart were fighting inside him. But then he took Jason's hand. Jason helped him up. The crowd cheered even louder. Not just because of the fight, but because of the respect they saw between the two fighters. It was a moment full of heart. Many people took videos. They captured the moment forever. Jason walked out of the ring. The cheers followed him. But inside his mind, it was quiet. He didn't come to be a hero. He didn't come to be a warrior. But now he was both. Backstage, Ben was smiling. He clapped Jason on the shoulder. "You didn't just win, mate," he said. "You taught that kid something." Jason nodded. He was thinking about Ivy. He hoped she had seen everything. Not just the punches or the big moves, but the real meaning behind them. That true strength isn't about muscles or yelling. It's about the heart. It's about being focused. It's about not giving up, even when others don't believe in you. It's about staying true to who you are, and showing the world that no one, not even a champion or a bully, can tell you what you're worth. After the fight, the internet was buzzing. People posted clips of Jason winning. They shared videos of his calm moves and smart thinking. They talked about how amazing he was under pressure. But for Jason, it wasn't about becoming famous. It wasn't about being a star again. It was about showing he still believed in himself. That he could stand up not just in a ring, but in life. That he could show the world something important. Just because someone yells louder doesn't mean they are right. Just because someone is bigger doesn't mean they are stronger. The story of the fight spread far and wide. Kids watched it. Adults watched it. And many people learned something. They saw that being quiet doesn't mean being weak. They saw that being respectful is just as strong as throwing a punch. They saw that Jason, the man they thought was just a movie actor, had something more. He had heart. He had discipline. He had the will to keep going. And most of all, he had the courage to be himself. The lesson was clear to everyone. Being full of pride can make you blind. But discipline and heart last forever. And sometimes the quietest person in the room is the strongest of all. What did you think of the story? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's chat. If you enjoyed the journey, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the next adventure.